Guys, welcome back to the Coach Approach podcast and a bite-sized episode with myself, Dom Dorico, going through the 2-to-2 rule or the 3-to-1 rule of meal prepping. And it's a rule that I go by and kind of live by, really. And it's a approach that I teach clients, and it can work very, very well. So I'm going to explain what this is and how you can intertwine it into your own life, how to make it easier for you. Now, I'm a coach who wants simplicity. I'm not someone who wants to overcomplicate stuff. I've followed meal plans where it's about 20 ingredients per meal, and I'm like, oh my God, this is just, and then I'm looking around, rushing for everything. And if I don't have an ingredient, then it ruins the whole meal. I'm just like, no, give me simple, give me easy, give me what I need to have. That's going to make me feel good. That's get my nutrients in. I like spending the least amount of time in the kitchen, unless we're doing a barbecue outside, then obviously I'm taking charge. But I do like to make sure things are simple and easy. And we all live really busy lives. We do. We generally do. And to try and put more pressure on yourself to do all of these meal prepping and think of all these big meals on the spot, it can be tiring. So the job I have as a coach is to make things simple and how to make sure that I can intertwine that with clients and also trying it myself. So I did do this approach without really realizing it was an approach until I kind of made it an approach. So the meal prep, you can meal prep on a Sunday. I have clients that do that. You meal prep on a Sunday for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on the Wednesday night you meal prep for Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday can be a bit more of a free day. So it also depends on the person and what you have time and available to you. Now, me personally, right now, I don't do that. I do not meal prep Sunday and have Monday and Tuesdays and Wednesdays lunches. I don't meal prep on Wednesday for Thursdays and Fridays lunches. What I actually do is I'll have the same breakfast that we do normally. Most of us are going to have breakfast at home. And whatever I had for dinner the night before, I actually have for lunch the next day. And this is where the power of tracking can come really useful. I think everyone should be tracking their foods. I think everyone should be on MyFitnessPal because it gives you the flexibility. Um, so whatever I had, so today I've literally just had vegetables, rice, and burgers. I had that last night, so I just made double. So then what have I had for lunch? Bang, that as well. So that changes most days for me. However, I still go by the 2-to-2 rule. So the 2-to-2 rule is a way of setting up your nutrition so you are having two of the same meals every day and two different for variety. And it doesn't have to be 2-to-2, it could be 3-to-1, depending on how busy you are. Um, so the 2-to-2 rule, I'm going to just explain how I do it myself perfectly. So every breakfast, I have protein oats with dark chocolate, with peanut butter, with berries, strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries every morning, and whey protein, obviously, and oats. Um, I have that every single morning. Haven't got bored of it. Never. It's high protein. It gives me micronutrients, gives me carbohydrates, gives me good nutrients from the berries, gives me my good fats from the peanut butter and the dark chocolate. And when I'm cutting, I just have less of it. And I don't think really you can beat it, and it takes what, 10 minutes to cook maximum. If I was on the go and maybe I needed to cook it the night before, do overnight oats, I could do that on the go as well. I've definitely done that when I was PTing. But I'll have that every day, every breakfast, every morning, because it just sets up my day and I've got all the micronutrients I need instead of just having cereal or butter on toast, which is awful. Although I do have cereal, but I have that just to top up my carbohydrates. But you need a solid meal in the morning, and too many people just try and grab maybe a protein bar or a protein shake. Oats are just fantastic. So that's my breakfast I have every single morning. So that's my first meal that I have. That's part of the 2-to-2 rule. My second meal that I always have is my egg meal. So I'm privileged enough to be working at home now. I say privileged enough, I'm in these four walls all day, every day. So it can be quite lonely place, I'm not gonna lie. But if I couldn't do this, I would have a meal that I'd meal prep and take with me. But I cook my eggs and I'll have eggs on sourdough with avocado and salmon. Okay, gets my protein in, gets good fats in, gets carbs in, and it's literally takes me. I think I timed it the other day, 8.5 minutes to make, 1.5 minutes to prep. So these are my two meals that I have every single day because I know it's high protein, I know it's good fats, I know it's good carbs, I know it's good nutrients. I'm covering a lot of micronutrient needs that my body needs with just those two meals. And then I'm going to have two meals that are going to be different every day. And what does that mean? So the dinner I had the night before is now becoming my lunch. I should say the breakfast is like a late morning, so I am on a lot of calories right now. So I normally have my oats at like 6, 7, 8 in the morning, and then my eggs around 11, and then my lunch actually is around 2 o'clock. So that meal will be having that meal I have the burger, rice, and vegetables. Although it's the same meal as last night, it's not this repetitive meal because I have a different dinner every evening, and that goes into the last second, the two to two, the second last two. And dinner, whatever I have with Naomi, I then create and make up, and the macros I make up on the spot. Like if I need more carbs, I'll put in more sweet potato and less sweet potato. If I need more chicken, less chicken, and I make it up on the go in front of me. So that is the two to two rule that I live by to make it simple. Haven't got decision fatigue and trying to think of things. I've got my meal prep. I'm meal prepping without meal prepping because I'm just making double the night before, and that has worked beautifully for me for years. And clients have tried this and it's been fantastic. Some clients it's a bit more difficult, when you're on the go or you have to leave work at 5 a.m. So of course there's a caveat to this. Sometimes I've got clients that will make a smoothie the night before, like literally my oat breakfast, and they make it into a smoothie, which you can. They'll put it in the fridge and they'll take that on the go for the morning. And then they could have, your chicken, rice, and let's say broccoli in the on the go at like 9, 10 o'clock. But that two to two rule works nearly every time for most people. We're always going to have breakfast at home. Meal prep, we're always going to have something for lunch. And how easy. And do you know what, guys? This is what really annoys me actually, because I have said this to clients. Why don't you make double the night before for the next day? And I was actually at a wedding and I said this to someone. He was like, "Oh, that's too much effort." And I was like, "But you're buying loads of crap. So how is that helpful?" He's like, "Yeah, it's just too much effort making double." How? And like, if you can see me, I'm on camera and I'm like, I've got my fist. I'm just nearly about to crush my head right now. You can meal prep the easiest way by just making double. Like, and if anyone says that's too much hassle, I end the conversation there. I just leave. I know that person's just an idiot. Um, well, I don't leave because I have clients that have said that, and I've had to knock them on the head a little bit and go, "What do you mean? What do you mean? It is too much effort to just cook more of what you're already cooking." Quite passionate about this. If you can't really tell through your headphones or however you're listening to this. So yeah, that's the two to two rule. Two of the same meals every day and two that are different. Now, if you're bulking like myself, there are going to be snacks in between. So that's when sometimes my cereal comes in. That's when maybe I have a bagel and Nutella in the evening. But I'm always tracking so I can make things up. So my two meals I know that are the same every day. This is the macros. This is the calories. Then I'll then just adjust these two meals that I have, or pretty much, if I have the meal the night before that's already tracked, so I copy and paste it for the next day. And then my evening's meal, that's where I need to go, right, how much rice can I actually have, or sweet potato? How much protein, let's say it's chicken, for example, how much chicken do I actually need? 100 grams, 200 grams, 300 grams, whatever it is. I'll just make it work with the numbers in my fitness pal, and then I'll make sure I always have some sort of vegetables in there. And then make up anything else that I need to. So let's say I've got 800 calories left. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's have, and I've got quite a lot of carbs to eat, cereal or bagels or Nutella. Simple. I'm not someone who's against processed food. I think processed food is lovely. I think we can definitely include it into our daily routine. I think that um, people that base their whole meals all day on processed food, that's when it becomes a problem. But I love a little bit, some bagels and some Nutella and some cereal. That's all good with me. So that's the two to two rule. There is the 3 to 1 rule, which I'm pretty sure you can guess that this applies the same way. You have three of the same meals every single day, and your evening meal, I think this works quite well with people that have a partner. I have quite a lot of clients doing that. They have three of the same meals, and then they have a different meal every evening with their partner. Now, this can get boring. There are clients that will go, right, I'm really bored of this meal that I'm having. What can I have for substitution? And that's up to you to try and figure things out and what you can have. So if I didn't want to have my oats and my whey protein and my berries and that, what alternative do I really have in the morning? Well, maybe I could have eggs instead in the morning. And then maybe later on, I could change my egg meal to maybe chicken, rice, and vegetables, for example. You do need to, or a yogurt, for example. Maybe I'll have yogurt with some oats on top and dark chocolate and honey and some peanut butter or almond butter, and maybe a little bit more whey protein. There are options to kind of change this up, but I always try and make sure I'm hitting roughly the same sort of macros. It doesn't have to be perfect. But But the worst thing you can do is just go, oh, I'm not going to have my oats, whey protein, and blueberries and whatever. I'm just going to have toast and butter. This is where you are completely messing yourself up. And this is where your energy drops. This is where you feel even more hungry. This is where you have sugar crashes. This is where you have blood sugar levels all over the place. So you will need to find substitutions. You're always going to find something that you might change. That's why I find the 2 to 2 rule always works well, because two of the same meals I can do every day perfectly fine. I never get bored of that. Then I've got two meals that I have different every single day. So yeah, guys, that is the 2 to 2 rule or 3 to 1 rule that you should or could be including into your nutritional strategy to help manage, fatigue in terms of decision fatigue and preparation. You don't have to meal prep days in advance. I don't even do it. Look where I am. I think I'm pretty good with my physique, to be honest. I did the same thing for my bodybuilding prep. I did the same thing for my photo shoots, my 2 photo shoot preps. So yeah, if you have two of the same meals every single day, most of the day, good, brilliant sources, two meals that are different, maybe one of those meals being the night before's dinner. Make sure you're good at tracking. It will work perfectly. Really does work, guys. And I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible for you. Now, people that do have different meals every single day, I'm going a bit off a tangent now, but in my experience, I've coached for years now. Every time someone says I have different breakfast, different lunch, different dinners every single day, they are all over the place with macros. They are all over the place with their blood sugars. They are all over the place with their sugar crashes. You need some consistency. You need some structure. Without that, you are just going to make it a lot harder for yourself. Is it impossible? No, you technically can still have something different every single day. But generally, if you are doing that, and not many people do, but I have come across people that do that, they're overweight, they can't sleep well, they've got no energy, they're feeling tired, all that type of stuff. Find structure, stick to it, see what works for you. Okay. And that's it for this bite-sized presentation, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I haven't been without my Princess Phil. But of course, if you like the podcast, you like this listen, do give me a shout if there's anything else you'd like me to cover. And I'll see you guys on the next one.